So a quick update on the fire. We have still, as of last night and this morning, 300 plus acres. We have about 200 personnel on scene, still making their way into the fire perimeter. Last night, the firefight was mostly focused on structure protection, and our folks out there, weren't able to grab any perimeter as of late last night. So that's the objective today, to start working the perimeter of the fire. As the sun hits it, our relative humidities will start to drop. The fuels will become more available, and you'll start seeing a little more fire activity out there.
What about an air defense? Are you guys looking to get a helicopter, plane? What's that situation?
We've got helicopters ordered, and we are right now we have establishing a TFR, which is a temporary flight restricted area, and we have air tankers available.
Any structures in particular lost from the fire?
We're still doing a damage assessment now, and we're waiting for the exacts on that.
And can you talk about, just for folks who don't understand Riverside, the community, are a lot of those abandoned buildings, or people living there? About how many people do live there? So
I'm not up on the numbers as far as occupied and non-occupied, so but yeah, there is a mixture of that.
What's going to be the biggest challenge today fighting the fire?
Today it's just the fuel loading that's in there. It's real old salt cedar, very very hard to get in there. Our what we call a production rate is very slow, just because of the amount of time it needs to take to clear that vegetation away from the fire's edge, and then you're going to start dealing with some heat. So the heat-related stress out there, those are all the factors that are going to come in, and then we'll have this afternoon we have some winds coming in, so those are going to be the major contributing factors to the spread.
Is it deceiving right now? Because when we first got out here early in the morning, you could see the heavy smoke, everything that was set in, and now it seemed to have cleared up. Not too many hot spots, but that's just something that we're taking a look at from the vantage point we're at, right?
Very deceiving. There's still open flame underneath the canopy, just not making it outside, above to be visible. And again, once the temperatures start to rise and the relative humidity goes down, that fire is going to start waking up and start making some movement.
I saw a lot of driving around. Is it easy to access or hard to access because of the terrain that it's in?
The east side was easier because I obviously in the community. The west side of the river is going to be more a little inaccessible. Again, there's so thick vegetation there you can't even walk through it. So that's we have a dozer coming out to start punching line in there. It's just a very thick area to get into.
any cause as of yet? Is this human caused? Or?
Still under investigation.
What about the community of Kearny? Are they kind of on the lookout right now, or what's their position?
Yeah, as far as the evacuation status goes, I'll turn it over to Pinal County, but yeah, they're still, we're asking them to be very vigilant and, and honor that evacuation notice.
Do you have a number of how many structures you're protecting?
At this time, it was anywhere from 50 and 70, and then as we grow further outside the perimeter, it'll lessen there, but we still have quite a bit of infrastructure and values at risk.
The power's still out on Kelvin Road and those communities there. Are they going to be restored, or if we're still waiting on those?
Still waiting on that, yeah. All right.
Hello, my name's Robert Evans. I'm a captain with the Pinal County Sheriff's Office.
And then can you just kind of tell us a little bit more about the community and people, structures?
So it's a combination of rural homes and some suburban type neighborhoods and some trailer homes, kind of a mixture of that.
And it's still under evacuation at this time?
They're under a set go status, so all the residents need to be prepared to leave as soon as they get notified.
Riverside did evacuate. How many residents were there?
I've been told there's approximately around 300 in the general area, and some chose to evacuate and some chose to stay, but they're on a set notice, and we've communicated with several of them to give them a warning so they're aware. And if there's any change to that, or if there's any updates, then we'll be attempting to contact them again.
I know yesterday someone spoke to the fact that there weren't enough resources to maybe go back and check again on the people who chose to stay in their homes. Have you all gotten more resources today to go back and check on people who chose to stay?
We do have law enforcement officers, deputies in the area who are patrolling and who are in contact with some of the citizens, as well as some of the fire crew members that are out there assessing damage and checking on the homes that are there.
Okay, so more resources
Yes.
today to that.
Yes, correct.
Captain, can you speak on a rule of thumb? You know, a lot of folks, they wait till the last minute and then they try to take the world with them. What's a good rule of thumb that they should be already prepared on that ready, set, go with them to take with them on a moment's notice?
Yes, they should have their essentials. They should have, if they have any elderly parents or people living in their home, any pets, anything that they need if that fire can move very quickly. So anything that they would need, medications, so that if they needed to leave for a few days, something like that, they'd have everything they needed with them.
And at this point, it's also putting your deputies in danger if they decide to stay a little bit longer, right? Because you guys have to would be the ones having to go back in after.
Yes, us and the fire crew members would have to go in and let them know, and we can only get so far depending on the status of the fire. So the best thing is for them to prepare now and be ready to go at a moment's notice.
Any updates on the shelters?
There was a temporary shelter open at the school here, the Ray Elementary School, and it was offered to several of the residents. None of them needed it at this time, but it's still available if needed.
I have one more question. The forestry
Yes.
department spoke to the issue of some of the structures being just surrounded by too much vegetation that was, putting them at risk. Is that something that, you talk to residents about making sure that their home doesn't have that fuel right there? Because now we're seeing this situation unfold.
Yeah, that's something that the fire department, and I know in the past the sheriff's office has given people advice to clear the brush around their house. We did have a lot of rain this past year, so obviously there was a lot of growth. But we, at this point, their first priority for the citizens is to make sure that they're ready to evacuate and ready to go if they get the call that they need to evacuate.
Thank you.
Thank you.